Hello. I am going to return to this only a nurse comment about Dr. Campbell because I just want to point out an incident that happened at York Hospital fairly recently, well, last year, which should be a salutary lesson for anyone who talks about Dr. Campbell in the way that some of you have been doing. Now, the fact that he is being criticised by people does not mean that he's correct. So I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that all those of you who are using his lack of medical doctor qualifications as an argument for saying that his opinions have no validity, you're very wrong. And I just want to prove that to you with this particular incident here, which I'm going to tell you about, in which somebody, apparently not a very pleasant person, but that's not the point, a patient was given the wrong dose of medicine by a doctor. And accidents happen, but this was a particularly bad example. Okay, so before I get into the nuts and bolts of this, I'll tell you I'm Granniopteryx on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds, also on Twitter, Gab and Parler, where I let you know when I've uploaded new videos. All the links to those are in the description. Please like this video, please share it. Please subscribe. If you're subscribed on YouTube, remember you have to check that it's still active. And what else? Yeah, you can help me financially. Again, all the links to all those are in the description. Okay. The level of insulin taken by the patient, who was a long-term diabetic, was wrongly recorded by a nurse in the accident and emergency department of the teaching hospital, the inquest heard. The nurse spoke to Mr. Howard's PA, Christine Sadler, who said she gave details of the correct doses that he'd been taking, and the admission records had higher doses. Now, the nurse said that that's what Miss Sadler had told her, and Miss Sadler said that that's what the nurse must have misheard. And we don't know, because apparently York Hospital was not recording the conversations phoned in to that department, which I find completely incredible. So there's fault number one. But what happened after that? The high dose was queried the following day by a pharmacist at the hospital. So at this point we have only a pharmacist. He's not got a medical degree, or she's not got a medical degree, just a pharmacist. And whoever it was queried this particularly high dose of insulin, and his concerns were overruled by a junior doctor in charge of the ward where Howard was being treated. So the doctor, that is the person with the medical degree, overruled the only a pharmacist, and that resulted in the death of the patient. I just want to point this out because it does say something important about this only a nurse argument, or, as I've heard, well, yes, he did have a PhD, but it was only a PhD in education or whatever. The fact is, he was a nurse for many years, and then he was in education. And when you're in education, you learn lots while you're educating. You don't just, unless you're a bit of a fool, give out what you've learnt and don't learn from your students. So I take it very badly that there are people who think along those lines. I know there are plenty of nurses who are thick as bricks, but in this case, calling Dr. Campbell only a nurse is a sign of somebody who really doesn't understand what education is at all. And here we have an example of where this idea, a junior doctor, it says he's only 2 years after his degree. 2 years is long enough to know that you are not God. And he overruled this pharmacist, no doubt by thinking because he had a degree which qualified him to be called doctor, then this only a pharmacist doesn't know what he's talking about, when obviously that only a pharmacist did. I just wanted to point that out. All right, well, till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the granniopteryx design or Granbo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.granniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.